on Cage. Cage batting at .396. 16 RBIs, 3 home runs. As they check the runner over at first. And now the pitch. That is going to be hit down the third base line, but that is going to go foul. So no balls and 2 strikes on Cage. So even though Fort Morgan has wrapped up the Colorado 7 League title, they still need to finish strong for the playoffs, as that is done by an RPI system. And they're sitting right now at number 15 in 4A. And the pitch, and that is right back up the middle. Nice hard hit by Cage. As that will send Fritzler to second base. He hit that right back up the middle. So now runners at first and second with Austin Breidenbach up and Kenny Keller on deck, Grayson Garver in the hole. So Breidenbach bidding at .368 with 5 RBIs. Breidenbach DHing this afternoon for Marquez. Marquez will play first. And that pitch is going to be low and outside. Ball 1. So 2 on, no out, and 2 in so far for the Fort Morgan Mustangs here in the top of the first on a Trey McBride 2-run home run. And that ball is going to be hit foul down the third base line. Nice stop out there by Coach Langford. Gets it back into the pitcher. So now 1 ball and 1 strike on Austin Breidenbach. So Michael Malpin checks the runners. Now they're kicking the delivery, and that is going to be a swing and a miss by Breidenbach. So now 1 ball and 2 strikes. I think I misspoke a minute ago. There is 1 out on the bunt by Shirtliff as he moved Daniels to second. Then Daniels scored on the McBride home run. And that ball is going to be past the catcher back to the backstop. There's a lot of room here in foul territory. So that will be a wild pitch. By Malpin. So now that'll send runners at second and third. Cage at second, Jacob Pritzler at third. So a couple of guys in scoring position here for Breidenbach. And that ball is going to be hit hard out to the second baseman, or out to the shortstop, and everybody's going to be safe. Couldn't come up with the throw. It's kind of a slow hit roller. But that will bring in the RBI. It's now a runner at third and 1 at first. It's now 3-0 Fort Morgan with Kenny Keller up, Grayson Garver on deck, Anthony Arroyo in the hole for the Mustangs. Michael Malpin checks the runners, and that pitch is going to be low and outside, ball 1. Kenny Keller batting at .302 with 15 RBIs. Has one sitting out there at Nate Cage on third. So Malpin with the kick, and that's going to be hit down the right field line, but looks like it's going to be well foul. So a foul ball down the right field line and out of play by Keller. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike. On the senior left fielder today. Malpin checks his runners. Comes to the set and the pitch. And that ball is hit for a single out to left field. And that will bring Cage in, and they will hold up Breidenbach at second. So Fort Morgan hitting the ball well today. So now Breidenbach at second, Keller at first. Grayson Garver at the bat. Garver batting at .238 with 7 RBIs. So we got Austin Breidenbach sitting out at second base. As Garver awaits the pitch, and the pitch that is going to be hit slowly out to the shortstop. Long throw over to first, and they do get the runner at first, but he does advance the 2 runners. Grounded out to the shortstop. So now Keller at second and Breidenbach at third. And that brings up Anthony Arroyo. Arroyo waits the pitch, and that pitch is going to be in there for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike to the senior center fielder today. Bats at .324 with 15 RBIs. Waits the pitch, and that is in there for the strike. So no balls and 2 strikes as we sit with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. And they're going to have a steal. They're going to see what Coach Langford is yelling that there's a balk as Breidenbach was coming home. So Breidenbach does score. They do call the balk. So now we have Kenny Keller at third as Breidenbach was stealing, but Maupin with the balk and called. So now Kenny Keller at the plate, or at third base, excuse me. So that makes the score now 5-0 here, top of the first. As that pitch was missed for a ball. Now they're going to have a discussion here with the home field coach for Weld Central. The first Fort Morgan score of the game is brought to you by Morgan Federal Bank, a bank that is committed to their community and keeping banking simple. They are on the cutting edge of banking. Stop by 321 Ensign and see what options they have available. Morgan Federal Bank, there is a difference. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Anthony Arroyo with a runner at third. Mustangs up 5-0 with 2 out here, top of the first. And that is going to be low for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Arroyo. 34 of 47 this year at the plate. Maupin, that's a hard hit ball, but foul down the left third base line. Fort Morgan beat Weld Central on the 27th of April by a score of 10-6. Fort Morgan was up in that game at one time 5-1, and that is in the dirt. Nice stop there by Sims as he kept that from getting to the backstop. 3 balls and 2 strikes. As I said, a lot of foul territory here at Weld Central. Finally got a nice afternoon here. We have some clouds around. Some real slight breeze. That ball is hit hard down the left field line and caught, though, by the left fielder. But Fort Morgan puts 5 on the board here in the first. So at the end of the first half inning, the Mustangs are up 5-0 on B106 and B106.com. Back here at Weld Central High School, the Fort Morgan Mustangs put 5 on the board in the top of the first. And now Weld Central will come up to bat here in the bottom of the first. Kyle Daniels pitches for Fort Morgan today, comes in at 6-2 with a 1.85 ERA. So first up for the Weld Central Rebels is Jimmy LeConte. And LeConte is batting at .455. with 11 RBIs. Kyle Daniels set and the pitch. And that is going to be in there for a strike. Fastball right down the middle by Daniels. Daniels ready to pitch again, and that pitch is going to be low. Ball one ball and one strike to Jimmy LaConte. That pitch is nice curveball in there by Daniels. Beautiful bender there by Daniels. And that pitch is going to be just inside. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to LaConte as he backs out of the box for a minute, trying to get Daniels off his rhythm. So LaConte, the shortstop today. Now there's going to be a swing and a miss by LaConte. So big strikeout here to start out the game by Kyle Daniels. Jacob Jacobo up now for Weld Central. And that pitch is going to be in there for a strike. So Daniels in a groove right now. And the pitch, that is going to be low and in the dirt for a ball. Jacobo batting .400 with 4 RBIs. Daniels with a kick and the pitch, and that is in there. Another nice curveball for a strike. Now Jacobo is going to back out a little bit, kind of slow Kyle Daniels down here a little bit, but Daniels is ready once again. McBride behind the plate, and that is fouled straight back to the backstop. McBride behind the plate. As Jacobo stands out, Marquez is at first. And the pitch, and that is a slow swing and a miss, but it gets by McBride, and he'll throw to first to get the out. So nice job by McBride to get the out. So McBride to Marquez as he is playing first for out number 2 here in the bottom of the first. That will bring up Brian Gutka. And the pitch, and that is fouled off to the right and way out of play. Strike one on Gutka, a junior batting .385, 52 plate appearances, has scored 16 runs. That pitch is going to be low, ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Daniels ready once again. Kick and the pitch. Another curveball, and that's going to be hit out to the shortstop by Shurtleff. Does not come up with it. It was hit deep. We'll give him a single. On that, and that will bring up Matt Sims. Matt Sims. Out for Weld Central. Matt Sims, the catcher here for Weld Central this afternoon. Dalton Wilkinson on deck, Alex Reese in the hole, and that ball is going to be fouled down the third base line. No balls and 1 strike. 14 pitches so far by Daniels, 10 strikes, 4 balls. As the Mustangs lead it here in the bottom of 1, 5-0. Gutka now back to first as he had taken off on contact. Daniels gets his sign from McBride, now ready, and they're going to go to first, get him picked. And they're going to throw it to second base, and they're going to get the tag out at second base. So Daniels with another pickoff. At the end of 1, the Mustangs up 5-0 on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickel back here at Weld Central High School as the Mustangs go here in the bottom of the or in the top of the second inning. Kyle Daniels will be up first, followed by Trevor Shirtliff and Trey McBride to follow. So the Mustangs did bat around in that first inning. Daniels got on with a double. As we said, the Mustangs still playing here for positioning in the playoffs. That is determined partially by RPI standings. And they're sitting at number 15. They will take the top 32 in 4A, and they will have 8 districts with 4 teams at each district, and that will start next Saturday, weather permitting anyway. And it'll just be yet to be determined where Fort Morgan will end up playing. We know they will not be at home at 15 since they take the top 8. And the top 8 as of right now is Mountain View, Silver Creek, Pueblo West, Longmont, Valor Christian, Pueblo South, Denver North, and Windsor. Pueblo Centennial is close behind, as is Delta. But they also say that they try to put teams within the same locale. So I don't believe they wouldn't send Denver or Fort Morgan if Delta ended up. They wouldn't send them to the western slope. It would probably be more like Longmont, Mountain View, maybe Silver Creek. So we'll just have to wait till, understand, maybe Wednesday afternoon or Thursday. We'll know by sure on Thursday where they'll be playing next Saturday. So Kyle Daniels at the plate, and that first pitch is going to be a ball low and away. So Michael Malpin on the hill, and that pitch is going to be inside, but catches the strike zone. So 1 ball and 1 strike on Daniels. 29 total pitches for Malpin, 20 strikes, 9 balls. Next pitch is going to be low and inside. Ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. As Daniels did reach in the first inning on a double, and then was advanced to second by Shirtliff, and then came in on McBride's home run. And the pitch by Malpin, and that is going to be hit down the first base line, but foul. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes on Daniels. Daniels batting .473 with 15 RBIs. Michael Malpin with the pitch, and that is going to be hit in, played out to the first baseman. As they get the ball, it's going to be thrown over the head of the first baseman. Will be hit to the first baseman, and he tries to throw it to the, well, actually it was taken, yes, it was taken by the first baseman, threw it to the pitcher. And over the pitcher's head at first, and then they collided, so they awarded Daniels to second. So with the single, and then gets to second on defensive obstruction. So Daniels now out at first, as they're going to give the Michael Malpin a little bit of time here to warm up, as he did get in that collision at first base with Daniels. Buildings by Design has the experience to complete your project from start to finish. Get the quality you deserve in your building by starting your build project right. Start with Buildings by Design. So they're still checking on Malpin out there, but the slow tapper out to Wilkinson off to his right a little bit, and then when he turned to throw to the pitcher who was covering, threw it over his head. And then Malpin and Daniels collided. So they gave Daniels second on defensive obstruction. So we'll see if they move Daniels over with a bunt like they did in the first inning here with Shirtliff. Swinging away, though, is Shirtliff. And that is a swing and a miss for strike one. No balls and one strike. To Shirtliff is Maupin with the pitch, and that is going to be way upstairs for the ball. One ball and one strike. Shirtliff on the year batting at .361, 14 RBIs. Has the Speedy Daniels out at second. So Maupin looks back to Daniels. And now the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be fouled at the plate. So one ball and two strikes to Trevor Shirtliff, a junior. Played in 18 games this year. Josh Langford getting a little encouragement down there from the third base coaching box. Sneaks in behind. Does the shortstop, goes back to his position and down the third base line, but foul. We'll have to give Coach Langford an error on that. He let it get by him. So 5-0 Fort Morgan here in the top of two with a runner on and no outs and the pitch. And that is going to be basically a bunt right out in front of the plate. And they get Shirtliff out at first, but they do get Daniels over to third. So Maupin to the first, or the Sims to Wilkinson. And now Kyle Daniels at third with McBride up at the plate with the home run his first time up. Daniels was on base last time, and he was at second when McBride was up the first time. That pitch is going to be outside. Big swing and a miss by Trey McBride. As we sit with one out and one on in the top of two from Weld Central High School. And that pitch is going to be upstairs, ball two, or ball one, excuse me, one ball and one strike. As we did have about the 45-minute rain delay. We've been playing this game about 29 minutes. So it was about a 45-minute rain delay, rain and lightning delay. As Maupin now with the pitch, and that ball is going to be over our heads and out of play. Foul ball to the right. So still one ball and two strikes to McBride. McBride is batting at .397, 29 RBIs. Maupin looks into Sims for the sign. Now comes to the set as Daniels does some diving out there, and that ball is going to get past the catcher, and he doesn't know where it's at, and that will bring in Daniels. That makes it 6-0 now. As Daniels comes home on the wild pitch. So 6-0 now, Fort Morgan. With one out in the top of the second. McBride at the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 41 pitches so far for Maupin. The kick and the pitch, and that is going to be inside. Came close to McBride, but did not hit him. So 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Maupin with the pitch, and that is going to be a swing and a miss in the dirt. He has no idea where the ball is at, and that got clear back to the screen, and that's going to send McBride clear out to second base. On the wild pitch, 3rd strike. Pitcher, or the catcher, Matt Sims, had no idea where the ball was. It had gone by him and clear over to the backstop, but he about 3 or 4 seconds there. Had no idea where the ball had gone. So now we have a courtesy runner. That is going to be Caleb Bell for Trey McBride out at second. That brings up Jacob Pritzler, Nate Cage on deck. Austin Breidenbach in the hole is Malpin with the pitch. And that is a hard hit ball to the second baseman as they do get Pritzler, but that advances Bell to third. So just a little grounder over to the second baseman as he ranged over behind first, and then they threw it to first base for the out. So now 2 outs here in the top of the second. That curveball is going to stay high for the ball. 1 ball and no strikes as we have Caleb Bell as a courtesy runner for Trey McBride sitting out at third base. Nate Cage was on by a single in the first inning. Pitch is also up and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Cage playing third base this afternoon for the Mustangs. Malpin with the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be fouled right back here to the backstop. As that puts it at 2 balls and 1 strike. As Malpin looks in to get the sign from Sims. Checks the runner at third. Now the kick and the delivery, and that is fouled straight back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now on Nate Cage. As we play in the top of 2, Fort Morgan up 6-0. Fort Morgan was up early, was up in the game over at Fort Morgan 5-1, and Weld Central came back and tied it. That is going to be blooped out just to the over the second baseman's head. Could not quite get to it, so that'll be a bloop single out to right field, and that will bring in Caleb Bell for the 7th run. Now Nate Cage at first. Austin Breidenbach at the bat. Kenny Keller on deck. Grayson Garber in the hole. Breidenbach also reached on a single in the first. So now 7-0 Fort Morgan, top of 2 with 2 out. That pitch is going to be high. They're going to throw back to first, and I believe they picked off Cage as he wandered too far off. So that will be the 3rd out here in the top of the 2. So after 1.5 innings, the Mustangs now up 7-0 on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickelback here at Weld Central High School as the Fort Morgan Mustangs put 2 more on the board for the 7-0 lead here as we go into the bottom of the 2nd inning. Matt Sims up, and that first pitch is going to be low and away. 4-1. Matt Sims, Dalton Wilkinson, and Alex Reese. And the next pitch, and that is going to be in the dirt. Ball 2. Matt Sims batting at .481 with 23 RBIs. Daniels was 16 total pitches, 10 strikes and 6 balls as he looks into McBride. Now kicks and the delivery, and that is going to be a hard hit ball out to center field, and that is going to go up against the fence. As they go into second, we'll see if they have a play there, and he slides in safely at second for the double. Does Matt Sims, so that will bring up Dalton Wilkinson. Wilkinson, a pretty big guy coming in from the left side. And he has only 10 RBIs so far, batting at .587. So as I said before, in that game over at Fort Morgan beat him 10-6, but Fort Morgan had a 5-1 lead going into the top of the fifth, and the Rebels scored 4 to tie it. Then the Mustangs answered with 3 in the bottom of the fifth and then 2 in the sixth for the win. And now the pitch, and that is going to be a big swing and a miss on that curveball. So no balls and 1 strike as Daniels checks the runner, Matt Sims, out at second. And the pitch and delivery, and that is swing and a miss, strike 2. Getting that fastball right by the big left-hander. Not getting anywhere close to the ball on those swings. So no balls and 2 strikes with no outs here in the bottom of 2 with the Mustangs up 7-0. Another big swing and a miss for strike 3 for Kyle Daniels for the first out here in the bottom of the second inning. And that will bring up Alex Reese. Alex Reese batting at .360 with 12 RBIs. They do have 1 in scoring position with Matt Sims out at second. Checks the runner, now the kick and the pitch. And that is a big curveball, but going to be high for the ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Alex Reese, the junior. Playing center field today, and they look back to pick off the runner, and back safely is Sims, as Shirtliff was covering from shortstop. Daniels with a kick and the delivery, big curveball, but it's in there for the strike. That means it was going to be a little bit outside, but that did catch the plate. So 1 ball and 1 strike. For Daniels. That ball is going to be fouled out of play down the right field line. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Alex Reese. As Daniels comes to the set, checks his runner, Matt Sims. Comes to the plate, and that ball is going to be hit high and fairly deep to left field, but the center fielder is under for the out. Sims fakes like he's going to go to third, but does come back. So a fly out to center field. Now Ben Lindstrom up for Weld Central now as we play with 2 outs now here in the bottom of 2. The Mustangs up 7-0. That pitch is going to be in there. Nice curveball for the strike by Daniels. 25 total pitches, 18 strikes, 7 balls on Lindstrom. Working quickly is Daniels, ready to come to the plate, and the pitch, and that is going to be low and away, ball 1. Lindstrom batting at .350 with 7 RBIs this year. Daniels looks into McBride for the sign. Now checks Sims back at second. And that pitch is going to be in the dirt. Ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike on Ben Lindstrom. Michael Malpin on deck. Nick Begler in the hole. 7, 8, and 9 hitters here for Weld Central. As the defense takes their positions, and that pitch is going to be outside on the curveball. As the home plate umpire takes a gander over here at the Fort Morgan faithful, and that's going to be a swing and a miss by Lindstrom. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes with Sims out at second. Daniels now checks the runner and the delivery, and that is swing and a miss, strike 3. As that will bring this bottom of the second inning to an end on the strikeout. So after 2, the Mustangs lead at 7-0 on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickelback here at Weld Central High School as the Mustangs come up to bat here in the top of 3. It's like a pitching change for Weld Central as Ben Lindstrom comes over from third base. I'm trying to see if Malpin has gone to third, and I believe he has. So Michael Malpin and Ben Lindstrom switch positions here on the field as we play here in the top of the third inning. Austin Breidenbach on with a single in his first time up. That is going to be put in play to the left side to the third baseman to Malpin, but does not come up with it cleanly. So that finds him right away as they see comes into play at third base. So we will give him the error. As Lindstrom looks in, now they're going to throw over to first. Back in safely is Breidenbach. So no outs here in the top of 3 with the Mustangs up 7-0. Kenny Keller up, Grayson Garver on deck, Anthony Arroyo in the hole. Keller on the first time with a single. That pitch misses for ball 1. Let's see what kind of record Ben Lindstrom has here as a pitcher. That is going to be hit right past the mound out to the shortstop in time to get the out at first. But they do advance Breidenbach. As he now stands out at second base with 1 out. So Ben Lindstrom ready to pitch here to Grayson Garver as he grounded out 0 for 1 now for Garver here in the top of the third. Breidenbach edges away, and that pitch is going to be upstairs. Ball 1. I'm going to see if we can see what Lindstrom has done here for pitching. He is 1 loss with a 12.25 ERA, and that pitch is going to be hit hard out to right field, and that will get Breidenbach in as Garver heads to second. So nice hard hit by Garver into right center field. So a double by Garver. So Garver out at second place takes Breidenbach's place as he scores. That makes it now 8-0 Fort Morgan as Anthony Arroyo up for the second time. 0 for 1 on a flyout, his first time at bat. So Garver with the RBI here in the top of the third. As Lindstrom deals, that ball is going to be high, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. As Fort Morgan has scored in each inning so far, 5 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 so far here in the third. That is a big swing and a miss on that hook. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Anthony Arroyo. As he looks down at Coach Langford for the sign. Now Lindstrom checks with his catcher and the pitch and the delivery, and that ball is going to be fouled back over our heads. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Anthony Arroyo as Fort Morgan has put 1 on the board here. We have a slight breeze here out of the north, but a very pleasant afternoon as we have a steal, and that is going to be a foul ball back to the backstop. So Grayson Garver back to second base. So Anthony Arroyo, as I said, up to bat here. Arroyo batting .324 with 15 RBIs as they sneak in behind Garver. Now the pitch, and that is going to be in there for the strike. So 1 ball. That is a third strike looking. So 2 outs now here in the top of the third as Kyle Daniels will come up now for the third time. A double and a single so far for the senior pitcher here today for the Mustangs. Lindstrom checks the runner, and now the pitch, and that is going to be a hard hit ball right back up the middle. So we'll see if they send Garver, and they will send him as they're not to the ball yet. So that will be a single and an RBI for Kyle Daniels. Makes the score now 9-0. Fort Morgan with 2 outs here in the top of the third. And that will bring Trevor Shirtliff to the plate with Daniels out at first. Shirtliff so far with 2 sacrifice bunts, so no official at bats yet. For Shirtliff now a throw over to first, and Daniels back in easily at first. As Lindstrom with the sign, now the pitch and the delivery, and that ball is going to be a base hit out over the head of the second baseman, and Daniels will cut the bag at second and head to third, and Shirtliff will go to second as they misplayed the ball. We're going to call it a double. It was just once it hit the grass out there, it just kind of died, but that was a hustle double there by Daniels. So now Shirtliff at second, Daniels at third. That brings up McBride, 1 for 2, a home run, and then got on with the wild pitch. So they can make this a 10-run game here, or an 11 or 12-run game here. Depends what he does, if he hits it out of the park or if he can get a base hit. And that ball is up and in. For a ball, Lindstrom so far with 13 total pitches here as he came in here in the third inning to pitch. 9 strikes, 4 balls. As he comes set, the runners take their leads. Lindstrom now with the pitch, and that is up over the head of McBride once again. So 2 balls and no strikes to McBride as we play here in the top of the third. Mustangs up 9-0 as they have plated 2 here so far. And now the pitch. That is going to be in the dirt, but nice stop by Sims. But 3 balls and no strikes to McBride. So we'll see if he's taken or if he's going to be looking to drive something deep here with 2 outs. And the pitch. And that is going to be in there for the strike. He was taken all the way. So now he'll be looking for something to drive here on this next pitch. Still in ahead in the count here, 3 balls and 1 strike. With Shirtliff at second, Daniels at third. Now he's going to step off the bag, compose himself here for just a moment. Now he looks back into Matt Sims to get his sign as McBride stands in, waits for the pitch. Now the pitch, and that is going to be hit out to the shortstop. Big hop out there and across, and McBride will be out at first for the third out here in the top of 3, but the Mustangs put 2 across as they now lead at 9-0 on B106 and B106.com. 9-0 here, Fort Morgan, as we play in the bottom of 3, as Michael Malpin will be up first, followed by Nick Begler and then Jimmy LaConte. In that first game with Weld Central, back at Fort Morgan, Trevor Shirtliff got the win, went 5 innings, had 4 hits, 5 runs, 1 error, through 104 pitches with 10 strikeouts. And Jason Vegas came in, pitched the last 2 innings gave up 3 hits on 30 pitches, 1 run, and 2 strikeouts. The Mustangs had 5 errors in that game. So Daniels on the mound, ready to pitch to Malpin. And that is going to be a ball outside. So 1 ball and no strikes to Malpin. And the next, that's going to be hit right back up the middle. And that will be a base hit. Right up the middle over the mound as Daniels falls off the mound to the right side. And that ball went right up over the rubber and out into center field. For Malpin, now Nick Begler up for the first time as they finally get through the rotation one time here in the 3rd inning. And that is going to be way high for ball 1. Jimmy LaConte on deck, Jacob Jacobo in the hole. As the throw gets past Daniels, but retrieved out at shortstop by Shirtliff. So no balls and 1 strike here on Nick Begler as Michael Malpin on first. And that pitch is going to be also high for ball 2. 34 total pitches for Daniels, 21 strikes, 13 balls. As he looks in to McBride, now with the set, and they're going to get the pickoff as they throw to first, now off to second base, and they're going to get the tag out. They're going to get another pickoff today. That's the second here this afternoon as they erase Michael Malpin at second base on the pickoff. So now with 1 out and nobody on. 2 balls and no strikes on Begler. And that pitch is going to be a swing and a miss for Daniels. As it now stands at 2 balls and 1 strike. Daniels works quickly with a kick and the delivery, and that is going to be blown away. Ball 3, 3 balls and 1 strike. As Begler backs out of the box, now back in. Now the delivery, and that is going to be high for ball 4. So Nick Begler on via the walk. And now Jimmy LaConte, 0 for 1, a swinging strikeout in the first inning. This is only his 2nd time up as we get into the bottom of the 3rd. A throw over to first, but back safely is Begler. As Daniels with the delivery, and that is going to be in the dirt. Nice stop by McBride. As that hit out in the dirt out in front of home plate, but McBride slides to his left and stops that from getting to the backstop and letting Begler advance. Now Daniels with the pitch, and a big swing and a miss on that curveball from Daniels. So 1 ball and 1 strike with Jacob Jacobo on deck, Brian Gutka in the hole. Going to go to first, get the pick. He got another pickoff. That's the 3rd pickoff. Daniels has a great pickoff move. First base. So that goes 1-3 on the pickoff. As he tried to get back to first, but was tagged out. Now Daniels with a pop-up out of play to the left. Hits out in the parking lot out behind us. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here as Daniels He's ready to pitch once again to Jimmy LeConte, who struck out the first time up in the first inning. And another swing and a miss for strike 3 for Daniels. And that will end this third inning as we go to the top of 4. The Mustangs up 9-0 on B106 and B106.com. Back here at Weld Central High School, the Mustangs up 9-0 as we go to play in the top of 4. Daniels so far with 5 strikeouts and 3 pickoffs. So good afternoon here for Kyle Daniels as Jacob Fritzler comes up to the plate. 1 for 2 this afternoon, a single and a ground out. He'll be followed by Nate Cage and Austin Breidenbach. Breidenbach, the DH this afternoon. He DHs for Adrian Marquez, who is at at first. And now the pitch, and that ball is going to stay high. Ball 1. So 18 total pitches here so far for Ben Lindstrom. The kick and the swing, and it is going to be hit out to the shortstop. Slow roller and a throw across, and out at first will be Jacob Fritzler. He grounds out to the shortstop. So 1 out quickly here in the top of the 4th. That will bring up Nate Cage, 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Followed by Austin Breidenbach and then Kenny Keller. Lindstrom with the pitch, and that is going to be a slow curve, but that will be low and outside. 4 ball 1 as we play here in the top of 4 with 1 out. Mustangs up 9-0. That is going to be in the dirt for ball 2. So Fort Morgan looking to improve to 13-1 in league and 14-5 overall as they look forward to 4A state playoffs a week from tomorrow. And that is going to be a hard hit ball out to left field and over the head of the left fielders. It will go clear to the fence. And Cage turns first and he hustles it in, and he will get into second on the double. So nice hard hit by Nate Cage as that goes clear to the fence. For Cage, now 2 singles and a double for the junior. As he now stands out at second base. Now Adrian Marquez looks like he will be batting now for Austin Breidenbach. So we'll insert him into the lineup here. Adrian Marquez now batting as he had been DH'd by Breidenbach. So his first time up this afternoon. This Cage stands out at second base. Lindstrom looks in for the sign. Marquez batting .243 on the year, and that pitch is going to be in there for a strike. 10 RBIs with 2 doubles for Marquez as he bats from the right side. Cage, not a big lead. Now the pitch, and that is going to be in there for strike 2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Adrian Marquez. Junior first baseman here this afternoon for Fort Morgan. Kenny Keller on deck, Grayson Garver in the hole. And the pitch, and that is a slow ball, and that will be hit foul down the third baseline. As that now sits at no balls and 2 strikes on Adrian Marquez. It's really turned out to be a very beautiful afternoon here in northeast Colorado. Nice shade going on here, and Cage acted like he was going to steal. Now we're going to have a base hit out into left field, and they will hold up Cage at third. That was a nice base hit by Adrian Marquez. He stands now at first with Cage at third. Brings up Kenny Keller. 1 for 2, a single and a ground out. With one out here in the top of 4, the Mustangs up 9-0. Kenny Keller with 15 RBIs. Lindstrom takes a long time. Now Kenny Keller going to take a timeout here, step out of the batter's box as he looks down to Coach Langford once again for the sign. And once again, we'll give congratulations to the Fort Morgan Mustangs as they have wrapped up the Colorado 7 League for the 4th year in a row. And the pitch, and that is going to be high for the ball. 1 ball and no strikes. With Adrian Marquez at first, Nate Cage at third. Been an hour and 7 minutes as we've played here this afternoon after the delay. Now a throwback over to first, but in safely is Marquez. As Lindstrom looks in once again to get the sign from his catcher, Matt Sims. Throw back over to first, and safe once again is Marquez. Trying to keep Marquez close if the ball is put into play here with 1 out. Comes to the set now, the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be skied out to short center field and dropped out there by the center fielder. So that will bring Cage home. And Marquez is going to be forced out at second base because he had to wait to see if the ball was going to be caught. So he ended up getting forced out at second. So Cage does come home. For the run to make it a 10-run game here now, 10-0 with 2 outs. As Kenny Keller will give him a single on that. It was a real shallow and long run for the center fielder and couldn't quite get there. So Grayson Garver not batting this time up. This will be Joe Holbeck. Batting now. So Holbeck comes in the number 8 position here in the 4th inning. For Grayson Garver, some of these kids will get a chance to play here. They don't normally get to start. So 2 out, 10-0 Fort Morgan with 1 on. And the pitch, that ball is going to be popped up to the right side, and that will be taken for the 3rd out by the first baseman. So the Mustangs get 1 across here in the 4th as they lead it now 10-0 as we go to the bottom of 4 on B106 and B106.com. Going to the bottom of 4 here as the Mustangs now lead it 10-0 on 14 hits. They've left 4 on. Weld Central with no runs, 3 hits, 2 errors, and only 1 left on. With Jacob Jacobo, Brian Gutke, and Matt Sims up for Weld Central. Trying to see, I think they've made a couple of defensive changes. Can't see exactly who it is. I believe Joe Holbeck has come in for Grayson Garver at the second base position. And I believe Kenny Keller has gone to center, but I can't see from here who is in left now. And that pitch is going to be a swing and a miss. That ball was way high. Now we have a new batter in here for as Dawson Lang has come in. Line up a left-handed batter for Weld Central. Kyle Daniels still with the pitch, and that curveball in there for the strike. Nice curveball there by Kyle Daniels. He's only thrown 43 pitches here so far, 27 strikes, 16 balls with 1 ball and 2 strikes. Make that 2 balls and 2 strikes now for Daniels. He comes to the set, the kick, and the pitch. That is going to be a swing and a miss, strike 3 for Daniels. That will be 6 strikeouts now for Daniels as 46 pitches here in this in the game so far. That should bring up Brian Gutke. We'll see if that's still him that's at the plate or not. Daniels with a pitch, and that is going to be in there for the strike. See if I can see who their umpires in between me and the, yeah, that's going to be Gutke. 1 for 1 and a single, and that's going to be past the third baseman to Shirtliff, and it's going to be a long throw over to first, but safely is Gutke. Trying to see who's out there. If that's still in, Shirtliff is still at short. Holbeck is at first. This will bring up Matt Sims, the catcher. 1 for 1 and a double. It's Kyle Daniels still on the hill for the Mustangs. As he looks in to McBride for the sign. Now comes home with it. That curveball is going to be way outside, ball 1. One ball and no strikes as Daniels works from the stretch. And the pitch home, and that is going to be a swing and a miss. As that ball dropped way out of the strike zone. But Matt Sims could not hold up. He had a nice big rip at that one, and now the pitch home, and that is going to be a base hit to left field. And they get the ball back in. So a hit out to left field. I believe left field, they have a courtesy runner now. For Sims. I didn't see who it was that came in though. There is a courtesy run. I believe Caleb Pell has played left field for the Mustangs, and Kenny Keller has gone to center. So the big left-hander, Dalton Wilkinson, that is going to be connected and right to the second baseman, but gets back in safely. It looked like Holbeck had got to the bag before the runner slid back, but they're going to call him safe on that little looper out to the second baseman. So runner still at first and second. Then we have a courtesy runner. I can't see who it is at first. And now we have another. Let's see if we have a pinch hitter, number 27. And that will be Urker at the plate. That first pitch misses for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to Jake Urker. Jake Urker batting at 385 with 3 RBIs. Daniels with a kick in the pitch, and that misses just inside So 2 balls and no strikes. As they have 2 on base. Courtesy runner at first. Can't see who it is. As Daniels with the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be hit out into center field. And Kenny Keller with it for the out. And that will bring this 4th inning to an end as the Mustangs still lead at 10-0 on B106 and B106.com. Looks like Lindstrom's still in pitching for the Rebels as Sims still behind the plate. So we'll see who comes up to bat here for. Will be Caleb Bell, who will be up for Anthony Arroyo. So I believe Caleb Bell had gone to left field. For Keller. And then Keller went to center field. And Arroyo has come out of the contest, I believe. We can see Caleb Bell will be batting now in the lineup. It's his first time up to bat here for this afternoon for the Mustangs as we play in the top of 5. See if they can put a couple more insurance runs on the board here and finish this thing out here in the bottom of the 10th as they pitch to Caleb Bell. And that first pitch is going to be up and away, ball 1. So Caleb Bell on the year batting at 412 games. 4 RBIs with 1 double. The kick and the pitch, and that is going to be in the dirt. Bounces over the catcher to the backstop. So 2 balls and no strikes to Bell, with Kyle Daniels on deck and Trevor Shurtleff in the hole. So nice job pitching today for Kyle Daniels. And the pitch by Lindstrom, and that is also going to be in the dirt. 3 balls and no strikes as Lindstrom has thrown 32 total pitches in the when he came into the game. 19 strikes, 13 balls. Caleb Bell bats from the right side. Now the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be in there for a strike as Bell was taken all the way. 3 balls and 1 strike on Bell as he is ahead in the count here. Now the pitch, and that is going to be put in play over to the left side, and that's going to fall in for the base hit for Caleb Bell. Dropped it over the head of the shortstop. So Bell on now, and that brings up Kyle Daniels. He is 3 for 3, 2 singles and a double. As he comes in and bats from the left side, a left-handed batter, left-handed pitcher. It's Ben Lindstrom still on the hill for Weld Central as the sun starts to make an appearance here now. Throw back over to first, but Bell in safely. Still a few clouds around, but nothing threatening. Sun right in the eyes of the third baseman, shortstop, left fielder. This field sits facing to the southeast. And no balls and 1 strike to Kyle Daniels. Lindstrom now checks the runner over to first, but back in safely is Bell. Lindstrom now looks in for the sign, checks Bell over at first. Mustangs up 10-0 here, and Bell started to take off, but did not go. Now that ball is going to be fouled off to the left. So no balls and 2 strikes on Kyle Daniels. Northeastern, live in your world, learn in ours. For more information about Northeastern or classes available to you, go to www.njc.edu. So Lindstrom now checks Bell over at first. Gets his sign from Sims. As Daniels in from the left side, no balls and 2 strikes. Now the ball gets by the first baseman, but not far enough for Bell to advance. You get the ball back to Lindstrom. High Plains Bank offers a wide variety of products that can be customized to fit your individual needs. See what over a century of customer service can do for you at High Plains Bank in Wiggins. So Lindstrom with a kick and the pitch, and that ball is tattooed out to center field by Daniels. And Bell will hold up at second. So hard hit ball right up the middle by Kyle Daniels. This will bring up Trevor Shirtliff. Shirtliff 1 for 1, 2 sack bunts and a double. So now we have 2 on for him as Caleb Bell stands out at second, Kyle Daniels at first. Meeting at the mound has come to an end as the umpire sweeps off home plate. Corf Continental, your GMC, Chevrolet, and Buick sales and service provider. Pre-owned super centers is ready to serve you in Sterling, Yuma, Julesburg, and Fort Morgan. Find them at www.corfautogroup.com. So Lindstrom checks these runners. Pitch home, and that ball is hit hard over to the right. And that is going to get in and over the head of the left fielder. And Shirtliff will stop at second as they get 2 in on the double by Shirtliff. Kyle Daniels was running right up the back of Caleb Bell. He'd better hope that Bell wasn't going to stop. But a nice deep double by Trevor Shirtliff, so 2 doubles. By Shirtliff. So that gives him a little more breathing room as we will go to the bottom of the 5th eventually. We're still no outs here in the top of 5 as they have put 2 across. Now 12-0 Fort Morgan with Trevor Shirtliff out at second base. Trey McBride at the plate, and that pitch is going to be in there for a strike. McBride with a home run in the first. Also on with a wild pitch and also grounded out, so 1 for 3 for the sophomore here this afternoon. As Lindstrom looks in. And the pitch, and that is going to be up high. Ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. And the comes to the set and the pitch, and that is going to be a low ball 2 balls and 1 strike. As we are an hour and 26 minutes into this game after a 45-minute rain delay. More of a lightning. They did have some rain, but mostly lightning and thunder bang around before the game started. And that pitch is going to be hit down the third baseline. They check the runner at second, across to first, and they're going to call McBride out at first. On the ground out to third. And Shirtliff will stay at second. So now 1 out here, top of 5. And I believe it's Jacob Fritzler up to the plate with Trevor Shirtliff out at second, and that first pitch is going to be in there for a strike. So no balls and one strike as Jacob Fritzler is at the plate. 1 for 3, a single and 2 groundouts. For the right fielder here this afternoon, and the pitch, and that is going to be high for the ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Equitable Savings and Loan, proud to be Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan. With locations in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush, they are available 24/7 for your banking needs. And the pitch, that is going to be inside. Ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike on Jacob Fritzler. That was close. First baseman got it and flipped it to the pitcher who was covering. But out at first is Fritzler. So 3-1 on the putout. As Shirtliff does get to third, but we now have 2 outs. As Fort Morgan has plated 2 here, so they've scored at least 1 run in every inning. 5 in the first, 2 runs in the second, third, and fifth, and 1 in the fourth. And that pitch is going to be outside. Ball 1-2. See who's up to bat. I don't believe it's Nick Cage. No, it is Jason Wiggis who has come in to bat for Cage. And that ball is going to be foul tipped into the glove of the catcher. So Jason Wiggis batting for the Mustangs. That's going to be a swing and a miss. As the ball gets away, and that will bring in Trevor Shirtliff. So a wild pitch. Brings in Shirtliff from third. So now 13-0 for Morgan as Wiggis now down in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Getting a little breeze now out of the southwest. The sun has gone away here now, playing under some cloudy conditions. Adrian Marquez on deck, Kenny Keller in the hole, and that pitch is going to be fouled off to the right out of play for the foul ball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here on the big senior pitcher. As he is batting right now, we'll see if he comes in to finish out the game. There's going to be called strike 3 on Wiggis, so that will bring the 5th inning to an end as the Mustangs plate 3 as they now lead at 13-0 on B106 and B106.com. Pitching change here for the Mustangs as Trevor Shirtliff has come in to pitch here for Daniels. We'll need to see if we can see Caleb. I believe Caleb Bell is still out in left field. And we need to see who steps in at short. Kyle Daniels looks like he's roaming around at first base now for Adrian Marquez. So Daniels at first, McBride still behind the plate, Cage over at third. See who the batter is coming up here for Weld Central. And that batter looks like that will be number 35, Isaac McWilliams. That ball is fouled off to the left. Let's see Isaac McWilliams here. Now batting for the first time as the Mustangs lead this 13-0, and that pitch is going to be up high. Now 3 balls and no strikes. Thought that first one was fouled off, but now that pitch is going to get past McBride to the backstop. as McWilliams gets on with ball 4. So now that will bring up, let's see if that's Michael Malpin. It's number 34. That is Andrew McWilliams. That first pitch is in for a strike. So no balls and 1 strike with 1 on. Mustangs up 13-0. Now a throw over to Daniels. Keep the runner back, but he slides in safely, does Isaac McWilliams. I believe Marquez might have gone to short, and that pitch is going to be tattooed in the hole to left field. Yes, McWilliams on at second. That's Isaac McWilliams. Andrew McWilliams on at first after that sharp single up the left side. Now Nick Begler to the plate. He's 0 for 0 here this afternoon with a walk. And that pitch is going to be swung on and missed for a strike. So no balls and 1 strike to Nick Begler. Jimmy LeConte on deck, Dawson Lang in the hole. We'll get you some numbers on that ball, also in there for a strike. We'll get you some numbers here for Kyle Daniels. Only 55 pitches. That pitch is missed for the strike, or for a ball, excuse me. Had 6 strikeouts, gave up 5 hits, 1 base on balls. So as we sit at 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Nick Begler as we play in the bottom of the 5th. See if we can close this thing out here and go home early. That ball is going to be hit out into left field over the head of the shortstop. Takes a bounce, and that will bring home Isaac McWilliams. So a single out to left field. So runners at first and second, Nick Begler, Andrew McWilliams, and Jimmy LeConte at the bat, 0 for 2. Gone down swinging twice so far for Weld Central. As Shirtliff allows the 1 run here so far with no outs here in the bottom of 5, 13-1 for Morgan. Shirtliff, and that ball is going to be hit up the first base line. Shirtliff with it. Tosses it to Daniels at first for the out. So ground out. As he advances the 2 runners now, 2 second and third, but with 1 out. And that will bring up Dawson Lang, also down on strikes, his first time up. So Shirtliff so far with 11 total pitches here. That pitch is going to be low and outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. As the leader take their, the runners take their lead, excuse me. That ball is in the dirt. Ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes on Dawson Lang. That pitch is going to be fouled off and out of play. Dawson Lang, the number 2 batter, as he is batting for Jacobo. Pitch over or throw over to third. Keep McWilliams close, gets back in safely. 1 ball, and that ball is going to be tapped up the first baseline for a foul. Scoreboard has it 1 ball and 1 strike. You have 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Dawson Lang. As we play here in the bottom of 5, the Mustangs up 13-1. 1 out. As they're trying to get the scoreboard correct. Now they got it correct. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that ball is going to be hit down the left field line. Not very deep, and that is going to be taken by Bell. He gets the ball in, so no damage done except for the out. Not deep enough to get anybody in. So everybody holds up at second and third now with 2 outs as Brian Gutka at the plate. The first pitch is going to be in the dirt. Nice stop by McBride. Slides out to his right. Stop that from getting to the backstop. So Gutka 2 for 2 with 2 singles. So we're down to the last out here. If they hold this to the 13-1 score, that is going to be tapped foul down the third base line. So 1 ball and 1 strike. As Trevor Shirtliff gets the ball back from McBride. So nice job on the hill by Daniels this afternoon. As he did what he had to get this team ready for the next step of the season, which will be playoffs next Saturday. And that is a big swing and a miss. So down to our final strikeout here for Shirtliff. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs, 13-1, and no pitch as they had called time as they allowed Gutka to back out of the batter's box. So no pitch. So still 1 ball and 2 strikes as they're getting a big lead out at second. That pitch is up high for the ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 13-1, Fort Morgan in the bottom of 5. As Trevor Shirtliff works on the mound with 20 total pitches, 11 strikes, 9 balls, and the pitch, and it's a foul ball to the backstop. So we'll try it once again with 2 balls and 2 strikes on Brian Gutka. Gutka batting at .385, and that is a swing and a miss. 4 strike 3. And that will bring this game to an end as the Mustangs win it 13-1. We will be back with the postgame show in 2 minutes on B106 and B106.com. The Fort Morgan Mustangs postgame show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at www.morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC, here to help you imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goals. So the Mustangs win it this afternoon 13-1 in 5 innings as Kyle Daniels, an excellent job on the hill this afternoon. Game time was 1 hour and 42 minutes. Fort Morgan gets on the board first in the first inning as Trey McBride with a 2-run home run. As part of the runs here, they do get 5 runs in the first inning, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and 3 in the 5th inning. Weld Central does get 1 run in the bottom of the 5th. So nice job here by the Fort Morgan Mustangs as they now improve to 13-1 in league, as they are, even before the game had started, they were the Colorado 7 League champs for the 4th year in a row. That also moved them to 14-5. So they will wait now to see where Chansa places them in the playoffs, as that will start next Saturday. We will have the game wherever it will be. We don't know the time or the place yet, but the Mustangs were sitting at number 15 in the RBI or the RPI standings. So they do take the top 32 So Fort Morgan will be easily in the playoffs next Saturday. So for Fort Morgan, 13 runs, 17 hits, 4 left on. For Weld Central, 1 run, 7 hits, 2 errors, and 5 left on. Our Fort Morgan Mustangs player of the game is brought to you by Mr. D's Home Ace Home Center, easy for me to say, with 3 locations to serve you better. Sterling Brush in Fort Morgan, your headquarters for all your home, farm, and ranch supplies from plumbing to feed. So I believe this afternoon we will give that player of the game to Kyle Daniels as he goes 4 innings, 55 pitches, 6 strikeouts, 5 hits, 1 ball, and also 3 pickoffs for Daniels, and also at the plate 1 for 3 with 1 RBI. So that's how this season now will come to an end, as postseason will start next Saturday, as I said. We'll just wait and see now, either Wednesday evening or Thursday morning, to see where they will be placed. And you can listen to John Beltran on B106 next week, and he will let you know what is upcoming for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. They do have 8 districts and 4 teams at each district. They have to win a district to move on to the playoffs, and that would be the following week, also the 20th and 21st, I believe. But first things first is they will be somewhere next Saturday as the playoffs will begin. But a nice win here for the Mustangs this afternoon as they win at 13-1 in 5. So we will bring this to a close. Our producer and engineer this afternoon has been Michaela Clipper. Excellent job by her once again this afternoon. Once again, the final score, Fort Morgan 13, Weld Central 1. Next broadcast will be next Saturday. Time to be determined. You've been listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs Baseball on B106 and B106.com. Good night, everybody.